Welkom in het Europees Parlement. Welkom bij Europese Gesprekken met Barbara en Gerolf. Welkom vandaag in Straatsburg. Toch wel een speciale locatie met vandaag een speciale gast. Niemand minder dan Ondřej Knotek. Mr. Knotek,
good morning, hello.
Welcome. So, yeah, you are a Czech politician and it's your second term in the European Parliament.
Yep.
You obtained a degree in chemistry. And I wrote that, you previously worked as a quality manager in a hospital. And your party, I think, stands for, let's say, traditional values and a conservative approach to social issues. My first question, the elections. I think that's the most important question of the day, I think. A few weeks ago, there were parliamentary, let's say, elections in the Czech Republic. My question is, could you tell our viewers something more about the elections? So a little bit more about what were the results and how can you explain something to our viewers what happened?
Yeah, so once again, thank you very much to all of you for the invitation. Greetings. And yes, we had the elections and the result was even more positive than we have expected. For a couple of years, we have been leading the polls, so it was probable that we will win. But we have won with almost 35% of votes just for our party, ANO. And also, there are other patriotic parties, and one of them also got to the parliament, the motorists. So in total, Czech citizens, like 41% of Czech citizens supported the Patriots for Europe. Which is great. And now we are negotiating on government, which will be on format of the patriots and the sovereignists of nations. So, which in certain way is a nightmare for the typical Vogue Brussels approach and Brussels Hydra. So this was a really good result. On the other side, there is a clear expectations. Between 2013 and 2021, we have already been in government, including having a prime minister. But last 4 years, we were in opposition.
Okay.
We were working hard. We had the shadow government. The shadow government was a weekly meeting, task, who is responsible, and so on. We put the program. We focused on economy. Green Deal was very important because the cost for citizens and businesses in Green Deal is really, really huge. We also discussed the migration. That was one of the topics. And our enemies, the current government, they were just scaring people. They were even saying that if we win, we will call to Mr. Putin to bring the tanks to Czech Republic. Unbelievable. And of course, the citizens are not stupid. Citizens are smart. And instead of focusing on economy, the ending government, which is consisting of 5 different parties, they would never be able to agree on anything in European Parliament. But the last 4 years, they were just there to be against us. So they were just promoting the so-called values, but no care about people, no care about healthcare, no interested in economy, no interested in energy, and so on and so on. So we are here. There is a lot of things to do, and we are ready.
Okay. Mr. Knotek, something totally different. You are a rapporteur of on the Commission's proposal to strengthen the Green Deal, making it even, let's say, stricter than it already is before the year 2040. So my question is, that is, I think, quite important position for you and for Patriots. Can you elaborate for our viewers? Can you on this and share with them what is going on? Tell me.
Yeah, you are right. Firstly, the role, the reporter. There are many legislative acts in the European Parliament, but always there is just one person that is fully responsible for the file, for the legislative act, and also acts within this file on behalf of the whole European Parliament. Then, of course, for every political group, there is also one so-called shadow reporter. But this main reporter is responsible for the team of shadow reporters. So you have a lot of responsibilities and also opportunities to do something. What's that proposal about?
Yeah.
The Brussels technocrats, because it's only the European Commission, the technocrats, who starts a legislation. They propose, in simple words, to speed up the Green Deal. Okay? To bring a new climate target. European Union is already with 2 legally binding climate targets, one of the most ambitious. And now we would be even more and more ambitious with the 3rd interim climate target, saying that by 2040, 90% of all emissions of CO2 will be reduced. Of course, this target would mean that they would have to put new legislation for all energies, cars, transport. Everything what people do would be even much more expensive. Either they would have to be forced to buy more expensive so-called greener technology, or they would have to pay more for having not this technology. And we as Patriots said clearly that this is not the way forward. Already with, as I explained, the 2 climate goals that we have, we are not sure whether we will reach them. One of them is till 2030, and maybe it's better to wait till 2030, see whether we are at least able to fulfill current commitments, and then maybe consider something more, something speeding up. But no, the European technocrats, they must be ambitious on the first side. Only ambitions are important. So therefore we said no, we reject this proposal. It means that the European Commission still has chance to come with a new proposal. Of course, we are now negotiating on having the possible majority for this proposal, to reject this Commission proposal. And of course, every citizen in every member state of the European Union can check how his elected members of European Parliament voted, whether they voted for faster Green Deal, higher prices, and isolating Europe in terms of global competitiveness, or for much more pragmatical approach that we together are putting forward.
Yeah. Don't you think the Green Deal is outdated? Because the Green Deal was in the previous term, but now we have other circumstances. Like there's another geopolitical context. Then you have the high energy price already because they arose because you have the renewable energy. So you have a whole different context.
Absolutely. I'm coming from a corporate world. So if there is a strategy and the circumstances change, you adapt the strategy. But here, the typical majority in Brussels, luckily, slowly decreasing majority Patriots are growing in many countries, they see Green Deal as a Bible. And it was not supposed to be a Bible. It was supposed to be growth economic strategy, reflecting different specificities of the regions, of different sectors. But no, this green, woke, progressive majority in Brussels, they used every so-called crisis, either energy crisis, COVID, or the war in Ukraine, as a reason to speed up Green Deal. And instead of being more pragmatic, they speed up. So the Green Deal has become completely religious and harming Europe.
And you see that people don't want a Green Deal because election after election, you see that patriotic parties, parties who are very sceptic about the Green Deal, who are always winning the election. So the people don't want the Green Deal measures, but I think the bureaucrats are full of, I think, green ideologists there and don't want to change that.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. And if you simply want to change the Green Deal, it's because you want to also do something for nature. The citizens, they want to live in a clean environment. Being against Green Deal doesn't mean that you are against sustainable development or things like that. But you want to have measures that are realistic. And I'm afraid that with this activistic Green Deal, we even decrease Europe's chance to react on the changes of climate correctly, because of course there are some climate changes. It has been there. These have been here even before the human. It's normal, but we must be able to somehow adapt ourselves. But if we focus just everything on being the fastest continent worldwide, reducing the emissions, our industry will be gone to places where they have not so strict rules, so the emissions will not so decrease. We will lose our economy, and this is what we want. This is what we want in Patriots. And just to correct the situation.
The speeding up is perhaps because of the fact that what you mentioned, they feel that their power is shrinking, that the rebellion of the people in the ballot box is increasing, and that at the end, if they don't speed up, they will be too late for all their religious goals they have.
Yeah, exactly. There are many politicians on the left side, especially, but also the liberals, that has invested so much and lied so much about the Green Deal because they promised to people, if you go this direction, you will become rich, you will become cleaner, and so on. But it's not the reality. We see what's going on in the United States. We see what's going on in India or in China. And just now, speeding up the Green Deal means the last chance for them to stay at the power, to grab the power. Otherwise, they would be gone. And of course,
we are very proud as Patriots that you guys, you Czech ANO party, came with us. Previously, you were in the Renew group,
yes,
which was, in my view, when I heard you talking, I always said, what are these guys doing over there? Are you, in the meantime, more happy now in Patriots than you were in the Renew?
you know,
Then you were in power.
Guy was okay, but Gerolf is better. You know, that's the answer. No,
Guy, you mean Verhofstadt?
Of course. We historically entered the so-called ALDE, the liberals, which were Renew Europe political group last mandate, and it was because in the economical aspects, we as the ANO party, we are certainly economically liberal. We are not dogmatics. We are also, if you ask us whether we are left or right, we say no. It's a catch-all party. And our boss, Mr. Babiš, he created a company with 40,000 employees, and he started his politics saying, we want to manage state as a company.
Yeah.
Okay. Company means everything is functioning. Yeah,
a bit Trump-wise.
And it must work. People must communicate together. It must be effective. KPIs, indicators, and so on. And therefore, we in the beginning we liked the liberals, but very shortly we have found out that they are just activistic, and they are even becoming more and more activistic. Like when they were competing with Greens, who will be more green. I mean, this is not sustainable.
No logic,
and for us, after the elections in 2019, the European elections, it's well clear that we really want to do something that is not harming our future, because I have 2 children and I want my daughter to be free to decide what she wants to wear on her face or not. If you understand what I mean.
No, we are very proud that, you, for instance, this rapporteurship for this 2040 deal, it's very rare for the Flemish viewers. We don't often have rapporteurs. No. So you're on this very important file. You became a rapporteur. So we're very proud of that, because it's rare for a Patriots.
Yeah, because we have the cordon sanitaire. We've always known the cordon sanitaire. But when I talked to your colleague, Mrs. Nagiova, about the cordon sanitaire, she said, we never knew it in the Czech Republic. And here in European Parliament, it was the first time that we were confronted with the so-called cordon sanitaire, which was very strange.
The cordon sanitaire is just a fear. And okay, those left and progressive, they have their programs.
It's a life insurance for their policy.
But the fun is this middle party. I don't know what is in Fleming, the EPP party, if they did something like that. Yeah, but they are completely lost because they promised the central parties. They promised something what is very close to Patriots, because we have the common sense. We want to correct the situation, but they grab the power together with the left and socialists, and they don't know what to do.
Exactly what happens in Belgium.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Whether to deliver, and even with the cordon sanitaire, we are quite successful to break the cordon sanitaire. We don't need, as Patriots, we don't need the functions. Vice President of the Parliament, it's not important. Vice President of the Committee. But we are in cordon when it comes to the functions, but when it comes to the content, we are more and more successful. And of course, this makes this left and progressive absolutely furious. They put so much pressure on EPP and the central part. And finally, then citizens can see where the centrists will go. And usually, when it comes to the critical moment, they forget their program, they forget their citizens, their voters, and they go to the socialist, green, left. And this is the reason why we are Patriots. And when you mentioned the 2040 target, the rejection is also very important, because usually when I entered the European Parliament, I was told, you must always have a compromise. If you have a compromise, not important whether good or bad, you are a winner. But no, we didn't create Together Patriots in order to create not good, stupid, compromise on very important things. And with this showing that we rejected the bad proposal, we showed that for the future, Patriots are those ones that will never step back from the clear strategical things. We can compromise on some technical issue, of course. Always there must be compromise. We respect democracy.
Yeah.
But on a strategical points, we will never get out of our citizens and out of our voters. And this is the most added value, and I believe the future of Patriots.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Barbara, about the cordon, is that what happens also in Belgium? That's the same like Mr. Knotek explained?
But we have the cordon sanitaire
Yeah.
already for more than 40 years.
Yeah.
We
Wow.
never, yes, so it's a long time. It's always have been part of politics.
Like all bad things of European Union,
we may not-
it was invented in Belgium.
Yeah. But we may never find this normal because it's not normal. And for some people, it's in Belgium, it is become normal, part of the game, but it's not normal that you exclude a lot of people from their views. It's incredible that it exists.
I fully agree with you. I'm from business, from technical, and it's not a hospital, it was a chemical engineering, but it's not important. But I was 4 years a councillor on a small town, okay? And there was always a good proposal or bad proposal. And it was not at all important who is putting the proposal on the table. We had a very experienced councillor who was for the Communistic Party. And you know Czechoslovakia, Czech Republic, our experience with communism. Okay, but we have never said, okay, we vote against your proposal because you are a communist. It was a good proposal.
Yeah.
For example, something on the athletic stadium in the town. How this is linked with communism or far right or far left or far green or far liberal? Not at all. Yeah. And in general, in Czech Republic, our citizens hate if you vote against something because of the person or the party that is opposite. So they do not understand it. Yeah, because it's like we vote that you are looking for the best solution.
Yeah.
And the best solution is not saying we don't talk with you.
In Flanders, the people hate this also, and they know very well how it works. So they hate the fact that the others do this. They would. I have even in my career seen how they vote back the proposal that we did, and then they put on the table the exact same proposal and vote for it. In Belgium, the cordon sanitaire is madness, really madness.
Yeah, and this is what we see in the European Parliament.
It is copy-pasted.
I was as well a reporter in some budgetary control committee for one file, and I did really. It was quite technical file, so I did compromising that could fit too many of those, many political groups, and they tabled alternative compromising amendments. Basically, 99% same wording. Logic was 100% same,
Welcome in
and wording was 99%.
That's so typical.
And even the advisors of the responsible committee, who are not politicians, were saying like, "This is so unbelievable. This is so useless because it means cost, it means translation, and so on."
Yes.
And it was just to have it without the Patriots for Europe.
We've got to fight.
We found out rule that as myself as a reporter, and this is not this climate law, I repeat, some budgetary control stuff, I could add my name. So what I did, I add my name to this alternative green left vote because of the content, and they were furious. And it showed how this parliament works. The responsible person in charge said it could be problematic, but you are right. It is in the rules of procedures. But then it escalated, not on political level, on administrative level. But of course, those are those big guys sitting here in this house for 20, 30 years. For them, if you are elected member of the parliament, it usually means, for some of them, I don't say for everyone, nothing, because they have met many generations of MEPs.
Come and go.
And basically, it was from up to down. If you do not remove your name, Mr. Reporter responsible on behalf of the institution, from this alternative green amendments, but with the content same as your amendments, we will do it instead of you.
Oh my God.
Okay, I will that's enough for me. Anyway, I'm sure that the content will win, which happened.
Crazy.
That's why we elected.
And that's why we created Patriots, not to have these games for people. People just want to have their family, want to go to work, want to have some responsibility, want to have some free time, and let's say also politicians that represent them and not that go to this Brussels ivory tower and then become mad.
Mr. Knotek, something totally different. October is Breast Cancer Day. So in 2020, I think you joined the special committee for cancer control. My question is, can you explain to our viewers a little bit more about that?
Usually our party says that we don't need more EU, but in some initiatives cooperation is exactly good, and this is also when it comes to the healthcare. Because you have also rare diseases, for example, and there are 6,000 of rare diseases, and you cannot have 6,000 professors of medicine in one country. So cooperation is good, and of course cancer is very, very, very huge topic. And this strategy of beating the cancer, European Beating Cancer Plan, had the idea to, let's say, focus on all 4 basic fronts fighting this disease. And this is, first of all, prevention, but also early detection, then treatment, including, for example, cross-border, and also what happens with such difficult diseases if there is already end to come some palliative care and some distinguished and dignity way of treating patients in the last form of cancer. So this tool had the idea to help. Of course, health competence is in national competence, but this project can help bringing some European money to member states for cancer projects, and also help the member states to have. I would say, balanced and overall cancer plans on national level. So of course, the role of European Parliament was more like advisory, that, for example, some of specific group of citizens is not forgotten. I'm not a medical doctor, I'm a chemical engineer, but I work for the pharmaceutical company producing, for example, some medicines. So it was a nice group of mainly doctors, but also experts from other fields, and I think we did a text which was not political, but it was like only add value focused, which is correct in my eyes.
Okay. At the end of each program, we have some dilemmas. Some dilemmas. So my first question. In your free time, there are spa treatments, I wrote, in Karlovy Vary, I think?
Yeah, I'm coming from Karlovy Vary region. Spa.
What do you prefer? So let's say a spa treatment, a visit to a museum, or let's say an evening Netflix on the sofa? As
we are overkilled with work with my wife and we have 2 children, so often we have something like Netflix evening, with maybe a glass of something. You can enjoy that. But of course, we prefer sport. The fastest sport is running. You just take your running shoes and you go running. But I also try to play tennis. In winter, I'm snowboarding. In Czech Republic, we have something called mountains. In Belgium, not so much, but still you have some. And
it's in the south of Czech Republic.
South, north, it's like around. But frankly, we are driving to the Alps because Alps are, of course, higher. And when it comes to the culture, of course, visiting a museum is nice. But myself, as I studied chemical engineering, so it's design and construction of chemical factories. So for me, visiting a chemical factory or just a factory, either operating or already closed, this is for me the museum.
Even closed. Okay. Last question. The city of Pilsen, if I pronounce it well, is very famous because, let's say, the word Pils. But if you have to choose, what you choose, a Belgian beer or, let's say, a Czech beer?
I spend a lot of time in Belgium. Usually 3 to 5 days a week. Every week I'm flying back home. So and in general I'm a beer guy. I like beer. So I must say, and of course I'm a patriot. We created Patriots. So what a patriot I would be if I would say that I like more the Belgian beer. But I am able to say, and hopefully I will then survive all the week, that Belgian beer is very often as excellent as the Czech beer. Yeah? But of course, if I would have to select, I would always select the Czech beers. We have in last year like boom of small breweries, and it's not just in the Pilsen, but this is the typical brand Pilsner Urquell, of course. Yeah.
Czech beer first.
Still, it's a 50-50
Czech beer
answer.
first,
Still, it's,
but it's true that in the evenings in Brussels, time to time we go with friends or just some semi-working, we call it. So, of course, then we drink the Belgian beer. In general, the Belgian beer has more alcohol. Yeah. So of course, if you drink the same amount of Belgian beer than you drink in Czech Republic, the next day you must be very focused. Yeah. But of course, we are not teenagers anymore.
Unless you drink the zero version without alcohol, which can also be very good. You have some very good beers in our country which contain almost no alcohol, like Sportsots.
Yes.
For example,
Of course, we also have alcohol-free beers, and in last years there is a boom of those. I would say alcohol-free beers with some flavor, like grapefruit or something like this, which is nice to have when it's hot summer, but not usually in winter. Not.
Sounds awful.
I prefer typical Pils beer.
The real one.
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to tell some brands from Belgium. I will better not. But of course, Belgian beer. In Belgium, when we are in Belgium, we drink Belgian beer. It's true that in front of the European Parliament there is a square full of restaurants, and one of the restaurants used to have for many years this Pilsen beer, Pilsner Urquell, even draft one. It was good. It was one of the softest beer that was there, except of the alcohol-free. But when we are in Brussels, we drink the Belgian beer. That's clear.
Oké. Goed, dat was het voor vandaag. Ik hoop dat u ook vandaag weer heeft genoten van Europese gesprekken met Barbara en Gerolf. Europese gesprekken, vandaag vanuit Straatsburg. Graag tot de volgende.